Hey guys, welcome to Abdul's Cats.
Today we're going to be showing you how to give a kitten a bath.
I'm Abdul.
I'm Shamyan.
And this is our kitten, Micah.
Now, cats don't usually need baths.
For small messes, you can use a warm, wet washcloth to wipe the kitten down. You can see Saturn over here got some food all around her face, and we want to help her clean it off before it dries.
But sometimes that's not enough. Here are some examples of when it's okay to give your cat a bath. Fleas are hard to get rid of, and some kittens are too young for medication, so a bath and dish soap is a good solution. Another good example is when it's hard for a cat to maintain their hygiene. This can be the case for senior cats and long-hair cats. Another good example is if your cat get into a mess that regular self-grooming won't clean. This can be if they get into something that's really sticky or smelly. Micah's getting a bath because he had diarrhea and is having trouble cleaning himself.
So a couple items you're going to need to give your cat a bath is a bowl. We're using a plastic litter box.
You can also give your cat a bath in the sink. Another thing you're going to need is a water source. If you're in the sink, you have the faucet. Otherwise, we have a big pot of water here. And you're going to need some sort of soap to wash the kitten with. We're using Dawn dish detergent. You can also use kitten shampoo.
We're going to use a towel or cloth to line the bottom of the pan. This will give Micah something to hold on to so he can feel less stressed.
You'll also need a towel to dry him off with. And we have a snuggle safe to keep the kitten warm because most kittens have trouble regulating their temperatures.
We're also going to be using a hair dryer to help dry Micah off because he's a pretty fluffy kitten. The dryer has a diffuser attachment. This is so we don't put direct heat on the cat. When we do this, you'll also see that we're going to be very careful about how Micah responds to it to make sure this is something he's comfortable with.
We wear old long sleeve shirts that we don't mind getting wet. And the long sleeve shirts help not getting scratched if your cat is hard to hold.
Looks like Michael's all ready to get started.
After we have Micah in the bin that we're using to wash him, we're going to start lining the bottom with some warm water. And Micah will feel this on his paws first. We'll see that he's comfortable before we start adding more water.
We add water little by little to make sure he stays comfortable. Cats don't need to be submerged in water to take a bath.
After his paws and some of his fur is wet, we grab the Dawn dish soap and start rubbing out the places that need to be cleaned the most. In this case, it's around Micah's paws and tail area. After adding the Dawn dish soap, I use a washcloth to clean that even further. So Micah doesn't mind the warm water. He's pretty comfortable with it. He's just confused and doesn't understand what's going on. For his face, I do use another cloth to clean it up because I don't want to get soap in his eyes. Micah's a lot smaller when he's wet.
Once he's all clean, we'll lift him out of the dirty water and rinse him off.
Micah's a pretty fluffy cat, so after we're done rinsing him, I try to squeeze as much of the water out of his fur as possible.
Then I'll place him in a towel and start to dry him off. And I do this by gently rubbing his fur until most of the water is gone.
After Micah is towel dried, we turn on the hair dryer and make sure that he's okay with the sound and the feel. Again, the diffuser is really important so that Micah's skin doesn't get burned and that he stays comfortable. It's really important that you thoroughly dry your cat, especially if you're giving a bath to a kitten. Kittens have trouble regulating their own temperatures when they're this young, which is why we always have a snuggle safe around and why we're so careful about making sure he stays dry. Now Micah's all dry and back to his fluffy self.
He's like, I'm shaking and I'm not.
To make sure Micah stays warm, I'm putting a heated snuggle safe in a blanket and placing it in his cat bed. And that's it. Micah's all clean.